Hey guys, it's me, Eliel, and I gotta cut quick again today because it's probably gonna be a long one too. A lot of stuff I want to cover. First off, I want to say I read about the creator of the new Hitman. He said that he's bummed that most gamers aren't finishing their games, and I can understand the conflict of why that's sad for him, because a lot of people are clamoring for multiplayer to extend the life of their games, and yet some people are still saying, no, we want single player because I only ever play single player. Me myself, I really only play single player games because, as I stated before, I have horrible internet connection, so it's really hard for me to play multiplayer. But in light of this, it's like you make this great single player game, and yet most people don't finish it, and it's kind of sad. Me personally, I'm not gonna lie. I do own some games that I have yet to finish. One of which is Rage. Another one is Skyrim, and Skyrim you can't really blame me because Skyrim is a huge game, and I mean I just haven't gotten back to it yet because it is humongous. But I kind of agree with him about being bummed. 'Cause, I mean, a lot of people are clamoring for single player, great story games, but then how do you justify paying $60 for that single player game when nobody plays it over again? And I don't know. It's just something that really sparked my interest, and I'm gonna try to look more into that. Another thing is Kaz Hirai is apparently leaving Sony Entertainment. Now, that's not mean he's leaving the company, because he was named CEO of the company, and well, not CEO of the company. He was CEO of Sony Entertainment, which is basically the PlayStation brand. But because of his responsibilities to the rest of the corporation, he's gonna leave that chair to someone else. No, they haven't stated who's gonna take over for him yet. So it gets me wondering, like, what the new chairman for the entertainment branch is gonna do. I mean, it's like something I really want to keep an eye on, because depending on who they get, it can really show the direction of what Sony or the PlayStation brand is gonna go. And I don't know, that's a really big brand. That's a really big thing I want to keep track of. Another thing is apparently a soundbite for the new Devil May Cry soundtrack came out, or the soundtrack for the game, and it's just dubstep. I mean, it's not a bad thing, and it's cool and all, but I don't know why people are clamoring for this soundtrack so much right now. Because I mean, it's just dubstep. I mean, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in the game it turns out to be phenomenal, but for now, cool it down. Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, I was not a big fan of the reboot at first, because when they first showed Dante's new character design, he looked like an anorexic crackhead, and it really turned me off. I really didn't like the way he looked. But the new character design they have now, I'm really like, I love that design now. Yeah, I think he looks way better. He doesn't look like emancipated. He doesn't look like he's on drugs. I really like this new look for him, and I'm really interested in the game now. At first, I really wasn't, but now I am. And another thing is, Square Enix is apparently cutting down on like the scale of their production for their Final Fantasy games. Apparently, they were saying that Final Fantasy 13 and Versus 13, the development team for them are so big that there's like miscommunication between them, and that a lot of the problems with 13, that it was because of that miscommunication, and they fixed them in 13 too. Sorry. Now, they also said that they're going to try to make the team smaller and start trying to outsource to Western technology for Versus 13. I may not be saying this right. The article's, all over the place if you want to look for it. But it gets me worried, because if they're still if they're talking about this communication problem with the Final Fantasy team, it gets me wondering, how far along is Versus 13? I mean, if they want to start outsourcing just now for Versus 13, that game is either going to get canceled before it gets done, or it's going to take years to get over, to come out. And it's like something that's really worried me, because Versus 13, I did not like 13 at all. I really didn't like that game. I thought it was way too linear, and I I don't know. There's just so many things wrong with it for me. I mean, people are gonna disagree with me. Some people love it. Some people they think it's fantastic. But I personally did not like the game. Now with that, it gets me wondering if, because of my previous video, I stated that Square Enix stated that they don't want to remake Final Fantasy VII until they make a Final Fantasy that surpasses it in popularity or just in greatness of what the game was. And if they're having development problems still with the Versus 13, it gets me worried about the future quality of these games. But so now I want to move on to Mass Effect again. I know I talked about it a lot yesterday, but there's like a lot of story stuff at the end that I want to talk about. So like, if you don't want to hear spoilers, just cut off now because I'm gonna be talking about some spoilers at the end of the game. And I just really, these are my thoughts, so I just want to get them out there. But first off, okay, the one thing I'm really not sure about is the destroyer ending. Is that still classified as the true ending to the game? Because I mean, the other endings they close things up nicely, but the destroyer ending still has Shepard having that one breath at the end, and it gets me wondering. I mean, so does that mean that the other two endings are gonna be null and void? Because apparently there was a leak that there was a leak of information that states that there's going to be more story DLC in the future. So my thoughts are like, how are they going to continue this story if the other two endings for Control and Synthesis show Shepard dying or becoming a god or a disembodied consciousness? So I mean, the only way they could progress any further is if they add in story elements in between, which wouldn't really make any sense to me because you're in such a hurry to destroy the Reapers and get to Earth. Why would you add this big monumental decision or however they insert it? The files are there, but I didn't look at them because I don't want to spoil anything for myself. Because even though I'm kind of complaining now, I'm still going to play the hell out of the DLC when it comes out. So it just gets me wondering. I mean, the only way they'd be able to continue it if it's DLC for after the ending of the game is if they go by the destroyer ending. So it just gets me wondering, like, why would they make only that ending the true ending? And not only that, why would they make it kind of the worst out of the three endings or four endings? No, sorry, I forgot about the new one. Cause I mean, you destroy all synthetics, and after that whole debacle in number 3 of getting the Quarians and the Geth together, and you end up wiping out the Geth anyway, and not only the Geth, but you end up killing off Edie, which at first I really didn't understand, because I mean, she wasn't really synthetic to begin with, she was just an AI, so, I mean, I'm probably overthinking it, but you end up killing Edie, and it gets me wondering, I mean, why would you make, out of all the endings, the grimmest one, the true ending? I mean, shouldn't you at least give the people the options to have, the Geth and the Quarians in peace, and have Shepard live? But again, that's me being nitpicky. Like I said, I loved the new endings. I thought they were fantastic. I love the game now. But it just gets me wondering about what direction they could go in with this, because technically only one of the endings can be classified as a true ending now. And not only that, but at the Destroyer ending, they show all these things happening, and they show the ship getting up and leaving to maybe go after Shepard after, the person doesn't put up the memorial for him. And then it cuts to the scene from the original ending where it showed Shepard taking that breath, and I'm thinking, how long has he been there? How long are they on that planet? How long does this take? How long does it take for them to find him? I mean, it gets me wondering, and I just not really sure in the direction the DLC story is going to take. I hope it's not like inserted DLC where in between you can just go into this major story arc. I really hope they try to continue it. And at the same time, I mean, if they can add a fourth ending, why can't they add more endings? I mean, the fourth ending they added is kind of a kick in the balls to the indoctrinated theory, but doesn't that mean they can make an ending to support the indoctrinated theory? I mean, that would be a pretty badass thing for BioWare to do, and I would personally find it amusing and kind of cool. But again, I don't dictate these things. I'm just a gamer. And that's it for today. So you guys take care, alright?